Congratulations, you graduated. Now you get to do all the cool stuff you thought adults did, right? Yeah, some of it's kind of cool. You get to make your own decisions, like have dessert first or go to sleep late. You'll pay for it later once you're 30. Anyways, my name is Sam Melendez. I've been a teacher for 13 years, just finished my 13th year teaching. I'm a fine arts teacher. But I've seen how, from my own experience, there was a lot of stuff that school or college didn't teach me. So I want to try to relay that message and soften the blow so that it's not as hard for you. Follow us. We are Omni-Versal, and this sector is called GENtigrater. We're trying to integrate generations, the older generations and the newer generations. So in this case, you are the younger generation, trying to integrate you into our society and how things work, teaching you about things that you didn't learn in school or college. For the older generation is trying to understand things like technology and TikTok. Anyways, there's things that we both don't understand about each other, so we'll see we can try to bridge that gap and understand why we do some of the things that we do, including myself or the older generations or the younger generations. Some of the skills we're trying to teach you that you may not have learned in school is problem solving or decision making and finances. These are things that adults say to you as a kid, and you'll either finally understand why they said these things to you, or you'll understand that why they were totally BS. You'll end up realizing that we're all just winging it. We're all just trying to figure it out as we go along. So this is the beginning of your adult life, and it's okay to be unsure and uneasy. Again, we can try to soften the blow as to how certain things work. So most of you are going to be either taking two common paths. Either you're going to be going to college or just going straight to work. The biggest decision-making tip I can give you is to do a cost-benefit analysis. What is this decision costing you, whether it's time or money or both? And what are you going to get out of it? Are you going to get out as much as you put in or more? So that's what you're trying to weigh your options. In college, you're going to be recruited for different things, jobs, internships, clubs, so on and so on. Some of it may be of interest to you, some of it may not. So you got to try to learn to set a boundary as to what is important to you and what may not be important to you. Some things you may have thought of, some things you want to join and be a part of, and some things that you had no clue existed, and that's fine. Learn about it, ask questions about it, research it, and try to see if it is something that is going to be of benefit to you. So one of the things, first cost-benefit analysis is, does it cost money or make money? If you're being recruited for a job, you're obviously going to be making money. Is this job going to be taking up too much of your time, taking away from study? Is this going to, are they going to work with your schedule, with your school schedule? Things like that. Internships are a little bit different because sometimes they are paid internships, but sometimes they will not be, but at least you get the benefit of working in something that's in your field. And so this is a little more long-term, but again, it can have a cost or benefit to it. Clubs, like I said, I'm a fine arts teacher. Sometimes if they're trying to recruit you for a musical ensemble, band or orchestra or anything else, these things take time, especially if you need to practice for them. They're going to be taking time away from your studies and from your work, and so that you have to try to balance that out. Which brings me to the next one. It's the time investment. How much time should you spend on different things? Work, school, and life balance. These are things that even some as adults have a hard time understanding still. So it'll be something you have to play around with. Sometimes you'll have to work a lot. Sometimes you have to do a lot of schoolwork, and sometimes you'll finally get a lot of time to yourself. But you got to realize that eventually you have to go back to work and school. So best way is to try to find a balance between both of them. It might take some playing around. You might have to see, oh, maybe this was too much work, maybe this was too much school, and try to adjust it. Now you're mostly in charge, you can try to change and manipulate those numbers. Delayed gratification. So this goes again for some of the benefits you might get, but in a very much longer term. So if this is internships, what is the benefit that you're going to get out of it later? Is this going to be worth all the time you put into it, or is it probably something you're not even going to really use? So then there might not be a need to do something like that. If you're going into workforce, make it worth your while and don't get stuck in a job. So even for the college ones, like I said, jobs and internships, recruiters are going to try to throw everything at you to try to get you to join that job at whatever cost they think is necessary. They might not tell you all their pros and cons of that situation. So one way you can find out is talk to people that are already in those situations. So if they're trying to recruit you for a certain job or a position, try to talk to those people in those positions that may be able to tell you a little more about those. They'll tell you the real pros and cons about it. So with the same thing with that job, try to find out. One of the things I would like for you to find out is if there's either room to advance, move up the chain, not just be stuck in the job, or if you are going to be stuck in that same job, if there is room for salary increase, raises. One of the adult things you may be hearing right now is kind of the cost of gas and inflation. So these are things that are making all our goods and services go up in price. So if you're going at an entry-level job making $10, $15 an hour, as things go up in 5 years, if you're still making $10 or $15 an hour, you're technically making less because everything else is getting more expensive, but your salary is the same. So you're spending more on the same things. Okay. So try to look for those things. And again, if you're able to move up, those usually already come with salary increases. And sometimes moving up comes with more responsibilities. So you got to weigh the options there too. Is this worth the extra money? If I'm getting, like, let's say 50% more of what I'm making from $10 an hour to $15 an hour, that's a 50% increase. But does that mean a 50% increase in work? To me, sometimes that might not be worth it, especially if you're going to be a student at the same time. Then that's going to take up a lot of your time. They might not be willing to work with the schedule or certain things like that. So those are just some things to keep in mind. That's all I kind of have for right now, but I mostly want to hear from you what things are making you feel uneasy. What are you the most unsure about? What are you excited about? And even let your parents know, or some of your older people in your life, or that we can try to help them understand some of the younger generation traits, such as technology and such. So follow us again for more tips. Again, we're at Omni-Versal, omni-versal.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Versal Arts. You can look for the hashtag GENtigrater for anything that's particularly related to these topics with generational integration. Okay, I'll talk to you later.